What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about play-in tournament teams. And if you don't know what the play-in tournament is, or you do know and you want to be refreshed on how it works, click this video above where we explain the whole bracket. Today we're going to talk about, as you guys could tell, the play-in tournament. We believe the play-in tournament team will most likely make a deep playoff run. Now, what is a deep playoff run for play-in tournament team?
Depends,
I don't know. That's for you to decide. But I would say at the very least at least to the second round. At least the second round, but past the second round preferably. That's a deep playoff run. You make it to the conference finals. That's a deep playoff run.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, for some franchises, some dumpster fire franchises, just make it to playoffs.
Yeah.
Talking to you, Sacramento. Talking to you, Los Angeles.
And how we're going to go about it is we're going to pick one team each from the West and from the East. It might be the same team. It might be a different team. Let's run through it first, though. On the West side, as of this recording, there's only a day left. We have New Orleans Pelicans, San Antonio Spurs, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Los Angeles Clippers on the West side playing tournament. And on the East side for the play-in, we got Atlanta Hawks, Charlotte Hornets, Brooklyn Nets, and Cleveland Cavaliers.
There definitely is some intriguing squads.
Yes.
I'll tell you that for sure, man.
We did come into agreement. For the East, we will leave out the most obvious choice in this video because it's just too obvious, guys. And you guys know who we're talking about.
Wait, who is it?
Yeah?
Wait, who?
The Cavs, bro. Everybody knows the Cavs are going to
Oh.
We're talking about the Brooklyn Nets.
You don't say. What?
They shouldn't even belong in a play-in spot, but it is what it is, you know?
They did this on purpose.
And so we're just going to take them out because I think if you were to ask anyone, the general undoubted consensus would be Brooklyn Nets making the deepest playoff run out of all the play-in tournament teams. So yeah, let's just remove that. I mean, we're talking about KD, Kyrie. Kyrie's probably looking like he's going to play full-time in every game except maybe if they play against Toronto.
About time.
And yeah, it's too obvious, and that's a team we foresee possibly winning it all too. Like, come on.
Yeah, of course.
So for the East, if it's not Brooklyn Nets, who are our teams? I'm going to have to go with the Hawks.
The Hawks, huh?
What about you?
Whoa. The Hawks. Okay. Jeez. Okay, I thought you were going to pick the Brooklyn Nets, but then you said in the beginning. Look, you already picked the Hawks. That was my choice, to be honest with you.
Well, I said it could be the same team.
Okay.
It's who you actually believe is going to make the deep.
Me? Okay.
It's not a subjective thing. We're going to try to be objective.
Okay, man. Because, the Hornets don't disrespect to LaMelo Ball and co. Yeah, no, man. No deep playoff run.
Cavs are too new.
The Cavs, without Mobley and without Sexton, no disrespect to Garland. You're getting run out. I'm sorry. All right? So I'm going to go with the Hawks. They have, like, the star that surprised people last year.
Let's not forget that they made the conference finals last year.
Exactly.
And then on the West side, I'm going to have to go with the Clippers.
Clippers?
Yeah.
Are you saying if Kawhi comes back or he doesn't come back?
Even if he doesn't come back, out of all these teams in the West, I still got the Clippers. If Kawhi comes back, undoubtedly, because those rumors are very, very strong. And AM Hoops did a great video covering on like the whole thing, and like it's almost like the Brooklyn Nets. If Kawhi comes back, it's a no-brainer. Like I feel like who else would you choose against the Clippers with Kawhi there?
I would give you a similar one to a much lesser extent. I would say the Pelicans. CJ McCollum has been on a tear ever since he arrived to New Orleans. Brandon Ingram. The guy's a stud. He can definitely ball the fuck out. And I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Literally, he's a fucking elephant because he can't stop fucking eating. I'm talking about Zion. In the unlikeliest of chances that
he returns.
And I put it like a 0.0001.
Kawhi has a higher chance of returning before Zion.
Yeah, for real, man. If Zion comes back, then yeah, a big three of CJ, Ingram, and Zion, you don't want to see that in any round, let alone in the first round.
You remove the Clippers for me, I'm gonna have to go with the San Antonio Spurs, which that's me saying they would beat out your Pelicans because
they got Pop, they got Dejounte Murray,
they're carrying the momentum in this late part of the season that I think could carry into the play-in tournament. And like you said, Pop, he knows how the postseason works, and Murray's been on a tear. And he has like these waves. So yeah, but let's go back to the East and let's break it down why we got the Hawks. For me, it's as simple as they got a superstar in Trae Young.
That's your favorite term to say, man. If you got a superstar, you got no problems in life.
It's an obvious. You know, NBA history tells us, guys, you gotta have a superstar to win a championship or make a deep playoff run.
What happened to the Lakers?
Like 9 out of 10 times.
Oh, okay. 9 out of 10
and
times.
then,
Okay, yeah.
we've discussed in a different video.
Okay.
And where I told you, give me and it was 2014 Spurs and 2004 Pistons.
Okay.
That's 2 teams in 22 years of the 2000s of the millennium.
I cannot wait till we get to the conference finals or the beginning of the finals, and it happens how I think it's gonna happen. And me and Cornell and everybody else down here,
I don't know about everybody else.
go after your ass.
Okay.
I'm like, yo, okay.
He's talking about the Heat guys, by the way. But the Hawks, they got Trey. Collins is injured. Maybe he returns.
Nah, there's no chance.
And-
It doesn't look like he's gonna return.
Bro, they thought Kawhi wouldn't return. No.
Kawhi is a fucking monster.
And I think Trey, we've seen it happen again, especially against the Charlotte Hornets. Like, I think they'll win that play-in tournament unless LaMelo turns it on, like I mentioned in another video, players to watch in the playoffs. But like I said, this is if we're taking Brooklyn out, because if it's Brooklyn versus, Hawks, it's hard to say the Hawks are gonna beat the Nets, especially without Collins. But even with Collins, we're talking about.
But that's not gonna happen because we explained this before, man. The 7 and 8 game is between the Nets and the Cavs. The Nets are gonna advance that.
Oh yeah.
Come
They don't
on,
play.
man. We explained it, man. Come
We
on,
did it. I'm
man.
looking at the bracket and they put it right next to each other.
No,
You're right.
man,
You're
they're
right.
not.
That was a complete brain fart caught on camera.
Yeah, don't worry. It's your ADHD, borderline retardation.
And then the Hawks versus the Heat.
I mean, they're gonna
I
give
don't
the
think
Heat.
that's happening. Like, I don't think the Hawks are beating the Heat. But I will give them a higher possibility of beating the Heat than beating the Nets.
Damn, like that.
And then,
disrespect, man. You don't.
Said a higher possibility of beating the Heat versus the Nets. I think that's a regular thing to say.
Beating them in a series.
Yeah.
Or winning a. Wow, disrespect, man.
And
Jeez,
then,
man. You don't get a number 1 seed in the conference out of your ass, dude.
Bro, we've been talked about. Number 1 seed in the regular season doesn't mean as much as it did before. Playoffs are a different ballgame.
We'll revisit this later on this year.
But that's why in total we still got the Nets, because the Nets could beat the Bucks. They could beat everyone.
What?
They could beat everyone. I said could. I didn't say
Okay,
are.
yeah,
They could.
okay,
You don't
yeah.
think the Nets could beat the Bucks?
They could. I mean, shit. KD by himself, like, almost beat them last
Almost,
year.
yeah.
I'm like, shit.
So that's why it's a no-brainer. And if anyone else would be the Hawks.
I gotta go with the East first, and I gotta go with the Nets. Obviously, this is a team that a lot of people are probably picking to make a deep playoff run, especially coming out of the play-in tournament. But you can't overlook these guys. This is Kevin Durant. This is Kyrie Irving, potentially Ben Simmons, and this is a solid, supporting cast. And you can't count them out. You got Kevin Durant, and I keep saying this, but I honestly think he's still one of the top 5 best players in the game right now. I didn't want to say ever to play the game because that would bring up a lot of controversy. But for the most part, you got Kevin Durant. He's a guy that's been in the playoffs, obviously, has won a couple championships. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's a couple. Sometimes I don't even want to think and talk about it because as a Heat fan, you just like to see with the Heatles era, you want to see them just beat out Kevin Durant and everything he's done. But you see what Kevin Durant brings to the table, and you think that he can kind of pretty much do the same thing for the Nets in a big playoff run. He really does need to step up too. So, I don't want to talk too much about it. Obviously, the Nets are probably big favorites to come out of the play-in tournament. So, there you go. I know you guys were mentioning the Hawks. Let's see what Trae Young can do with the Hawks. They're still young. I think they do got a lot of continuity. They've been playing with each other for quite some time, and I think they understand how each other plays. And John Collins, I think overall they are a good team. I do want to point out the Hornets. I know you guys are mentioning LaMelo Ball in some of your videos. Obviously, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. A lot of people love LaMelo out here, and he's young, and he does have a really good another supporting cast, a good supporting cast to help him out. You got Miles Bridges. He has a lot of flash. He dunks a lot, but then you can't forget about Scary Terry, who was the big trade from Boston for the Hornets, and he's not talked about a lot. I know he comes from a small market with Charlotte Hornets, but honestly, he is the best player on that team. I mean, Gordon Hayward's been injured, so he's been in the back seat, hasn't been able to play much. But Terry Rozier, he actually is a fantastic player, and a lot of people don't talk about him much. And you never know, this playing tournament, he may come out, show out, and drop 35. Maybe he might even have a 40-point game one night. So the big talks LaMelo Ball, I get it. He brings in a lot of flash. He brings in a lot of people. Had a big following before he even got into the NBA. So a lot of people like LaMelo, and his ceiling's pretty high as a potential superstar in the NBA. But Terry Rozier is the best player on that team.
Now, going on to the other side, I got the Spurs, if it's not the Clippers, because if the Spurs face Phoenix, dude.
Yeah, that's going to be a massacre. Phoenix is going to run right through that.
I say there's a chance because it'll be and that Spurs team slowing down.
Pop
and
will
Phoenix choked.
Pop will get you one game. Pop will get you one game. There'll be Suns in.
And then if Clippers were to face Memphis,
it'll be Memphis and it depends. If Kawhi comes back, yeah, they could pull the upset. If Kawhi does not come back, I'll say Memphis in 6. No disrespect. You can't, because Ja's gonna be there, and let's say even if Ja's not there, that squad is so good enough that they played extremely well in a tough conference without him.
Yeah,
that says a lot about them.
But if Kawhi does come back, a Kawhi PG led Clippers.
Yeah, but Kawhi's not gonna be at 100%. He's gonna be maybe at 50, 60%.
When someone of his talent level at a 70, 80%, I get you on the rust thing, but Kawhi is so familiar with getting rest and stuff that I don't think he'd be as rusty as most people would be from like a while not playing basketball. And he also always he's overly safe about coming back. So if he's coming back, that means that he is 1,000, not 100, like 1,000% confident that his injury has recovered.
If that's the case, then shit, man. Yeah, Clippers. But
while I love Ja and I like this Memphis squad, they're still too young and too inexperienced against these two superstars that have playoff postseason experience. One has multiple championships.
That's a what if. We're not playing with what ifs right now.
True.
The only thing we know for sure, Paul George is going to be there.
Okay,
they're going to give a little bit of a fight.
That's why I can see Spurs taking, arguably. Remember, this is all hypothetical, guys, but not just that. We're talking about playing tournaments, so it's hard to really.
Wait, the Spurs versus who?
If they go against Phoenix, they have a shot. I'm telling you, they have a shot. You don't Phoenix is still. It has more experience after that one finals run. But I still am a little hesitant on their inexperience, even if they have CP3. Plus, how many times, kind of like what we talked about with Harden and Embiid, how many times have we seen CP3 kind of but
it's not only
be inconsistent during peak thing. No,
but it's not only CP3. Booker, Bridges, Ayton, they made it to the finals, dude. In the Western Conference.
With CP3 leading that.
He's still there, dude.
If he starts being inconsistent or whatever, he's not properly leading them.
They got Booker.
I don't know if Booker will become a leader.
Of course he will,
I think he could, but I don't know if he will.
Andrade, the reason why the Suns were able to pull that upset at that time, I guess, funny to say, they were a 2 seed and the Lakers were a 7 seed, was because Booker stepped up.
Yeah.
Paul was whatever. When it comes to that, if the Suns are going to do whatever they got to do, it's going to be on Booker, not Chris Paul. All right?
No, I get you. I mean, you also got to keep in mind, I got to make an argument because the argument is which playing team is going to make the deepest playoff run.
All right.
So you think you pick Pelicans, you think they could take off Phoenix and then continue moving forward?
They have a chance. I'm not saying this.
Why they got a chance?
Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, they're not superstars, but
stars in their own right, no doubt.
They're stars in their own right. And they got a nice squad, and they're kind of hot right now. They had a slow start. There was the whole question about Zion. He's gonna come back or not. It seemed for a while that the Pelicans were gonna be one of the worst teams in the NBA. And look at right now, they're in the play-in tournament. It speaks a lot about them.
The Lakers are in.
They're getting hot at the right time. And in the playoffs, everything goes 0-0. If you're hot, there's no juggernaut like Golden State, like back in the day. There's no juggernaut like the Heatles back in the day. Anybody can be beat.
Disparity is all over this play. That's why I'm very excited for these playoffs, even more so than last year.
Absolutely.
And because we're also further removed from the bubble and the COVID lockdown restrictions.
Yeah.
This is
the beautiful
still
thing.
right now the most quote unquote normal playoffs since the bubble. And yeah,
Look, you know, the West, you got a lot of teams there. Clippers by far probably the favorites, right? I haven't looked at what Vegas says, but I'm sure they are the favorites to come out of the play-in tournament and to make a big playoff run. You got Kawhi, you got PG. I mean, those are the only two guys you really need on the court if you want to see a successful team. Now, obviously, me saying that, they have had some struggles in the past, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. Obviously, these teams in the West aren't going to go down without a fight. You got Popovich in the Spurs. I don't even know if I said his name right, Popovich. But you got those teams, Popovich with the Spurs, and then you got Pelicans. You know, these are great teams as well. You can't count out the Clippers. You can't. I mean, these are two, to me, PG and Kawhi are superstars. And if Kawhi comes back, then, you know, it's just going to kind of, it's just gonna mix up a lot of things for those guys in the West. Even the 1 and 2 seeds out there, it's gonna be a struggle for some guys if they gotta play the Clippers. I'm not saying the Clippers are gonna win out and go all the way to the finals, but this is still a tough and experienced team with guys that know how to play ball. That's what it all comes down to. And I'm still a firm believer, if you got the best player on the court, no matter what team you're on, that team has a higher chance of winning the game. I'm not saying they're going to win the game. They just have a chance. There's a higher percentage, in my opinion. So can't cross out the Clippers, and I'll just make it short. It's kind of similar to the Nets in the East. Those teams, the Clippers and the Nets, they're just experienced. They got guys that can play ball, and they know it's playoff time. I mean, it's not the season. So guys know they got to grind around this time of year. So Kawhi comes back, it's no question for me. I mean, the Clippers they got to go far, in my opinion.
So to conclude, we got Pelicans and Spurs on the West for us two. And if Kawhi comes back, that's the general consensus. That's the agreement between us two.
No disrespect to Minnesota, man. They got Anthony Edwards, They got D'Angelo Russell, and they got Beverly, annoying the fuck out of people. Hey, who knows? They're 7 seed for every.
I think everyone could agree it's the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, no shit.
And if you're not going with the Nets, we both agree with the Hawks.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, let us know what your picks are regarding that.
On each conference or just in general?
Yeah, just in general.
It has to be a play-in tournament, guys.
Exactly.
I mean, play-in tournament team. It has to be a play-in tournament.
Exactly. Anyways, guys, appreciate all the love and the hate. You guys already know. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all podcast streaming platforms. We'll catch you guys soon. For now,
Take
later.
care.